Hey, can you guys hear me? आवाज आ रही है मेरी साफ? Yeah, let me know if you can hear me. I'm gonna turn the video on in just under a minute. आवाज साफ आ रही है, right? So, yeah, man, that's what happens if we have a lot of sessions going on in parallel on the 6 to 8 channel, 10th, 11th, sorry, 9, 10 channel, 11, 12, सब जगह. Okay. Hello, good afternoon. आवाज आ रही है? You should also be able to see me right about now. So, what's the plan? Equilibrium. Let's get started. हम लोग करेंगे ये सब चीजें on all the days. Yeah. No formalities. You know the drill by now. Where are we today? आज की डेट क्या है? आज 27 है? No. आज 29 है. Equilibrium. This is where we are at. This is the timetable for the rest of the until March 16th. दोनों JEE. अगर आपका focus JEE है, watch the NEET and the JEE channel. They help you. By the way, we also have the second season of JEET, which is JEE की तैयारी. You know the drill by now, right? We're going to do this over 5 days. Yeah, 1.5 hour each classes, daily classes of physics, chemistry, maths. The only thing that's extra now is instead of the 1 or 2 week wala cheese, you have access till May 31st. So that's a big deal. I think if some of you are going to be giving the JEE Advanced exam, helpful for them. Maybe we'll do another series, something like this closer to that. And yeah, the link is in the description. You can use a couple of codes to reduce the price or whatever. And this is the thing. All right, let's move on. ये सब देख लेना, description में है codes. The dates, by the way, are March 18 to 22nd. Okay, that week is when this is happening. Let's start. पहला सवाल शुरू करते हैं. थोड़ा सा टाइम आगे पीछे हो गया. Okay, all right. Good to see so many of you here. Priyanshu, Rushabh, Hare Krishna, Priyanshu, Shlok, Rek. Okay, cool. King fan, happy birthday, bro. What a beautiful day for you to have your birthday. Leap year? Okay, that's awesome. And मजाक कर रहा था. That's great. Great King fan. सही मजाक कर रहे हो तुम लोग. Leap year में leap वाला मजाक. Okay. Which of the following statements is incorrect? शुरू की जाए ये class. This mic is weird. T-shirts are nice, but mics on T-shirts are not nice. In equilibrium, mixture of ice and water kept in perfectly insulated flask means ice and water, they don't change with time. The mass doesn't change, okay? Incorrect dekhna hai. The intensity of red color increases when oxalic acid is added to a solution containing iron 3 nitrate and potassium thiocyanate. What? Okay. On addition of catalyst, the equilibrium constant of value does not affect it. Last wala equilibrium constant for reaction with negative delta H value decreases as the temperature increases. Okay. मतलब delta H negative, तो अगर मैंने टेम्परेचर बढ़ाया तो K की वैल्यू कम होगी. हाँ जाहिर है, दिस वर्क्स, दिस इज लेजिट. माइनस डेल्टा H समथिंग 1 by something कुछ था, राइट? व्हाट इज दिस इज ln K2 by K1. कुछ और भी था ना? I feel like I'm missing out something. Delta H not by R. Why delta H not by R? This is similar to that whole thing, right? You had what was the equation? E power minus EA. This is a similar equation, right? By RT. What is this? This was delta. This was the K value when you talk about kinetics, right? But you have a similar expression for the whole, call this thing? K, capital K, because look, capital K and small k are related. Capital K is basically just a small case. What is small k? Small k is a rate constant. Capital K is the equilibrium constant. हम लोग बात करें equilibrium की. This is going to be a fast-paced lecture, okay? Like, you got to keep up. If you want to see the theory, oh, I forgot to pin the comment and all that. How will equilibrium constant decrease? Priyanshu, भाई Priyanshu, थोड़ा सा पढ़ ले यार. No jokes, but yeah, seriously, थोड़ा सा पढ़ ले. How will it decrease? I have just given you the expressions. अब how वाला आपको figure out थोड़ा बहुत करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? At this point, I've given you the equation. Like I can, you know how it is, right? You can take a horse to water, but then horse को खुद ही पानी पीना पड़ता है. मुहावरे में bad at them. You'll figure this out. Yeah, please read up on this if you find this part to be a little bit tricky. But the equilibrium constant changes with temperature if it's an exothermic reaction. This part is correct. ये वाला सही है. ये वाला भी सही है. Catalyst में equilibrium constant कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Both Kf and Kb are affected equally. Yeah, equally affected. This is okay, right? Equally affected. Oh, मैं थोड़ा पीछे चला गया. Sorry about that. What about the first one? Yeah, sure. Mass does not change with time. Perfectly insulated, and this is a closed system. This is also not going to change. From elimination, looks like B is the answer. But how is B the answer? What is B talking about? Intensity of red color increases. Oh, that's the thing, right? Intensity भी नहीं बदलेगी. If the intensity changes, that means some reaction actually happens. Like macro conditions change, but that's not equilibrium. अगर macro conditions बदलती हैं, if they change, then that's not equilibrium. Then that's not equilibrium. Yeah, if this happens, but we are talking about equilibrium, which is why this should be the wrong answer. What do you think? Raman is saying D. Raman or Raman, like top Raman? Priyanshu is saying D. Raman, D is wrong. Why is D wrong, guys? Hi, bros. And what? Okay, I'm gonna just go back and see happy birthday messages. Gift 94 percentile. वैसे, oh, you're welcome, bro. Wu Shang, that's lovely. All right, Makarand, fashionably on time. आज मैं late, आप time पे आ गए Makarand. बढ़िया है. Vantov copied Arrhenius, says Slok. Yeah, I like what Vantov copied Arrhenius is saying. Exactly, Vantov, भाई साहब copied Arrhenius. Yeah, sure. Aditya, तू तो आंसर बता. Slok, yes, B should be incorrect. King Fan is saying capital K is King Fan. This should be small k, not capital K. ठीक है. Capital K is A e power minus AE by RT. Okay. Sorry, small k. Capital K is minus delta H by R when you take ln K into T. Basically, that's the whole thing. RT यहाँ पे आ जाता है. ठीक है. You get that from delta G equal to delta H minus T delta S. You assume that this guy doesn't really change over time, so you ignore it, etc., etc. Okay, all right. Yeah, let's move on. A, Lakshmi, not A. Answer is B. Is the first question difficult? Okay. Raise your hands if your first, अगर पहला सवाल में कोई doubt है तो please raise your hands virtually. Raise your hands virtually. Don't actually raise your hand. I'm not going to be able to see it. यहाँ पे मुझे like give me a thumbs up or something if you have understood it. Give me a thumbs down. Like the gladiator वाली चीज. If you have not understood it, अगर कोई doubt है तो मेरे से पूछो. Option B में. Yeah, option B is incorrect. Lakshmi, I hope you have followed. We spent a bit of time on this question. I don't mind. We have all the time in the world. Apologies for the tech snafu in the starting. अगर doubt है तो पूछो. I'm going to move on to the next question. Yeah, but this whole idea of intensity of red color increasing. Oxalic acid is added to solution containing iron 3 nitrate and potassium thiocyanate. देखो, FeSCN twice, that thing gets formed. Yeah, तो concentration जो है basically इसको आप add करोगे तो the concentration will decrease. Okay, so intensity will decrease. If you want to know the real answer, intensity decreases. ठीक है? Cool. All right. Shall we move on? Why not A? Lakshmi, the question is asking for incorrect statements. Maybe you did not read the incorrect part. A is correct. हम लोग को incorrect part देखना है, Lakshmi. Yeah? Hare Krishna Jat Sahab, Pranam. Ice water to interconvert होगा. Priyanshu, yeah, exactly. They'll interconvert. This is an example of physical equilibrium. But mass नहीं बदलेगा. It's a closed system. देखो, equilibrium के लिए क्या-क्या चीजें चाहिए? Equilibrium के लिए you need a closed system. That's the first thing, right? You need temperature to be constant. Right? And that's it. These two are enough. ठीक है? And sure, you need volume, pressure, everything else to be constant. So all measurable properties, macro properties should be constant, right? Closed system is most important thing out of all these things that people usually forget. Let's go to the next question. This is an interesting question. Very easy question, but also interesting. Related to the last wala sawal, काफी related है. The pH of neutral water at 25 degrees Celsius is 7. As the temperature increases, ionization of water increases. However, the concentration of H plus ions and OH minus ions are equal. क्यों? क्योंकि that is what a neutral solution means. Neutral solution means that H plus ion equal to OH minus ions. It does not mean pH equal to 7. Yeah, that is not. This is not what is neutral. ये neutral इसका मतलब नहीं है. Neutral का मतलब है कि H plus is equal to OH minus. इसलिए मैं बड़ा हरा यहाँ से circle कर रहा हूँ बार-बार. Okay. So the question arises then, what will be the pH of pure water at 60 degrees Celsius? मतलब मैंने पानी को गर्म कर दिया. आप लोग माइक्रोवेव में गर्म करते हैं. गर्म पानी अगर 30 जगह बैंगलोर तक गर्मी है. But if you're in a cold place, maybe you're still heating up water and drinking it. Now, does that mean that water gets acidic or basic? No, it stays neutral. But उसका pH बदलता है. H plus ion और OH minus ion दोनों की concentration बढ़ जाती है because this is an endothermic reaction. What is an endothermic reaction? H2O giving H plus plus OH minus. This is endothermic. और endothermic हमने अभी देखा था. Vantov भाई साहब ने बताया था हमको, right? Shlok ने बताया about Vantov. Same equation. It tells you that when temperature increases, K will increase because डेल्टा H इज पॉजिटिव. सो H प्लस आयन अगर बढ़ेगा, OH माइनस भी बढ़ेगा, बिकॉज अगेन दे नीड टू बी द सेम. दैट्स द डेफिनेशन ऑफ न्यूट्रलिटी. What does that mean? So minus log of all of these two will reduce. So it should be less than 7. जब तक मैं मोनोलॉग डिलीवर कर रहा था, आप लोग चैट में क्या बोल रहे थे? Let me check the chat now. All right. अब क्या बोल रहे हैं? Ionic product बढ़ेगा. So pH will be less than 7 says Shlok. Arav says A. Rex says C. Okay. Higher the temperature, lower the pKw. Priyanshu, very nice. Shlok, Makrand, Priyanshu, residual bin. That's a lovely name. Not, what is that called? Wait, you recycle bin. All right, yeah, I was forgetting. Harsh saying C. Harsh, are you the same Harsh from Discord? I have unblocked you now. All right, Arav, good job, everybody. It will be option C, King Fan. Yes. All right, good to see we have started this on a, nice and easy way of doing things. You figured it all out. Okay, let's go to the next question. This one's interesting. Now things start getting interesting. Now you can have maybe more than one correct. No, I think this was still one correct. अभी भी एक correct है. Which of the following will produce a buffer solution when mixed in equal volume? So, मैं equal volume mix कर रहा हूँ. Equal volume. So you see that concentrations are different. Here it is C and here it is C dash. C, C dash, C and C. C dash is 0.05. C is 0.1. ध्यान से देखो, concentration अलग है, volume same है. Okay, ठीक है. और species कौन सी दिख रही हैं? Let me write down all the species. आप आंसर दो, तब तक मैं लिखता हूँ. Species क्या है? This is strong acid. Strong acid, all of these. This is a strong base, NaOH. मेरे बगल में, right over here. Okay. What is this? This is a salt. This is a salt of a weak acid and strong base. Okay. ये क्या है? This is weak base. Oh, all of these are weak bases. Okay. All right. Now अब analyze सवाल में दिया क्या है? तब तक आप बताइए आंसर क्या होगा? Shlok says D. Priyanshu is on D. Basic buffer. Harsh is on D as well. Strong base and salt with a weak acid. अच्छा बेटा, Rek, Arav, सब लोगों ने ले लिया bait. Everybody's taken the bait. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. एक बात बताओ, ये भाई साहब बफर कैसे बना? Okay, let me eliminate option D. I'm sorry, I'll have to do that for you. माफ कीजिए, अब करना ही पड़ेगा. आप लोगों ने बहुत कॉन्फिडेंटली, सब लोगों ने, all right, King Fan, good job, bro. It's okay. जितना होता है वो कर लो, एफर्ट लगाना है और क्या है. How is this a buffer, my dear friends? ये है salt और strong acid, strong base. बफर में strong acid और strong base नहीं हो सकता है, ठीक है? मैं इन दोनों को रिएक्ट कर रहा हूं, ये रिएक्ट थोड़ी ना करेंगे. Why will these react? See, I have CH3 COO minus Na plus OH minus. ये है मेरा constituent of option D. Okay, this is option D. कितना मोल्स लिख देते हैं? 0.1. ये कितना हो गया? This is 0.1 plus 0.1 and 0.1. This is the constituent. Okay, and पूरा वॉल्यूम क्या है? 2V. अब बताइए ये कैसे बनाएगा बफर भाई? This is going to be strongly basic. How is this a buffer? This is strongly basic. I have just proved to you कि भाई ये तो बफर नहीं है. D तो नहीं है बफर. I don't know about the other options. I have proved to you D is not a buffer. D तो नहीं है. Yeah, of course, King Fan, I do. किसको टाइम आउट करना है? I have the power. डी नहीं यार आंसर. प्लीज मेरे दोस्तों, डी मत बोलो, कुछ भी बोलो, डी मत बोलो. डी स्टैंडिंग आउट, सेइंग डी कैनॉट बी द आंसर. ओके, आई वुड बी ओके इफ यू सेड ए इज द आंसर. मैं थोड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन होता जो मैं आपको बता देता, बट यार डी कैसे आंसर है? ए वाला मिसकंसेप्शन भी दूर करते हैं. ए में ये दोनों रिएक्ट करके यू विल फॉर्म अ सॉल्ट, और ये सॉल्ट तो बफर नहीं है. सॉल्ट का होता है हाइड्रोलिसिस, और हाइड्रोलिसिस करने के बाद उसका पीएच क्या होगा approximately? Is it going to be greater than 7 or less than 7? How do you decide this? इसका जो है हिस्ट्री ट्रेस करो. This is from a weak base and a strong acid. So hydrolysis के बाद this should be the pH. Okay, pH should be less than 7 and not greater than 7 for this guy. So ये भी बफर नहीं है. दूसरा वाला ऑप्शन देते हैं, B. B में क्या हो रहा है? B is interesting, but B and D are the same. B and D are the same, right? Because in the solution, इन दोनों को मिक्स करने के बाद क्या हो रहा है? हाइड्रोलिसिस हो रहा है. बट यू हैव 0.05 मोल ऑफ HCl रिमेनिंग एंड 0.05 मोल ऑफ NH4 प्लस रिमेनिंग एंड 0.05 मोल ऑफ Cl माइनस रिमेनिंग. नाउ इनमें से ठीक है, दिस गाय मे वांट टू डू हाइड्रोलिसिस, बट देयर इज नो पॉइंट बिकॉज देयर इज अ वेरी स्ट्रांग एसिड आल्सो सिटिंग अराउंड. So B and D are the same, technically same ही है, ठीक है. That leaves C. C should be the answer. अब C कैसे होगा आंसर आप लोग ऑलरेडी बता चुके हैं. Why would I time you out for 10 seconds, fan? I don't understand these internet things. I'm not going to do that. A is also wrong. Harsh and Rahul have gone to C. Okay. Makarand अभी भी B बोल रहे हैं. Makarand भाई साहब अभी तो बताया B क्यों नहीं? Samyak was the first one to point out C, and thank you for that. Rahul has also said C, which is the right answer. But how is C the right answer? How is C the right answer? Okay. What have I got here? I've got a strong acid and a weak base. So neutralization. But okay, strong acid ki quantity is less than that of quantity. Let's talk about quantity, right? Quantity of strong acid is less than that of weak base. So this is a limiting reagent. And because this is limiting, it gets consumed. I know consume nahi bolna chahiye, but theek hai. Technically, whatever. Potato. So what you have is a salt, which is this guy right here, and the base, which is a buffer. Conjugate base, salt, and its conjugate base. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next one. अगले सवाल पे चलते हैं. This is fun. This is fun. Conceptually, we are like tackling very interesting things. And ये वाला question थोड़ा सा googly है, ठीक है? But also doable, but also googly. In which of the following solvents is silver chloride most stable? Silver chloride सबसे ज़्यादा stable किसमें होता है? Stable नहीं, सबसे ज़्यादा soluble. Silver chloride. I think ये common and effect के idea से हम लोग बहुत जल्दी से solve कर सकते हैं. What is silver chloride? Silver chloride theoretically should give you this. It should give you, in solution. But ये बहुत थोड़ा सा होता है. बहुत ही थोड़ा सा ये बनता है. थ कैसे लिखते हैं? थ. बहुत थोड़ा dissociate होता है. Okay. So बहुत थोड़ा dissociate मतलब कि whatever 10 power something minus some big number. What does this mean? Very little amounts of this. So I want to increase the solubility. How will I increase the solubility? I can increase the solubility by removing this or this. Yeah, so that's the standard idea of Le Chatelier's principle. अगर मैं थोड़े से products को निकालूंगा तो आप ordinary reaction आगे चला जाएगा. But if I add, that's going to be bad. That rhymes. If I add either this or this, that's bad for solubility. Right? तो देखिए क्या होता है. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Brijesh Singh Rawat says D. अरे वाह, Shlok, Priyanshu, Harsh, Nandini. Nandini is saying A. Everybody else here is saying D. Yo, what you doing, King fan? Sab theek hai? Just checking the chats out. Common ion effect, A and B eliminate directly. Okay, common ion reduce solubility. Yes, Samyak. Yes, exactly. अगर मैंने Ag plus or Cl minus डाला, that's bad for solubility. I don't want that. So in A and B, they're directly eliminated because they both push the reaction backwards. You are all absolutely right. Yeah, पीछे चला जाता है, which is not good. And C is like ठीक है, पानी में तो always था ही, और पानी डालने से क्या होने वाला है? I mean, it's not like, anyway, I'm going to ignore option C. It's not relevant. Last option interesting. जो भी Ag plus होता है वो अमोनिया के साथ रिएक्ट करता है और ये फॉर्म करता है this complex, which is a soluble complex. Okay. In fact, I don't know if you've studied metallurgy. अगर कुछ लोग एडवांस का तैयारी कर रहे हैं, one of the ideas of leaching में इसको यूज किया जाता है. ठीक है. Khair, we won't talk about that right now. Maybe we'll talk about it in the JEET sessions or somewhere else. After, we will do that. We'll solve some interesting things post 16th of March. Maybe after JEE Main का first session, we'll talk about the deleted syllabus जो advanced में उसकी बात करेंगे. अभी के लिए the answer is aqueous ammonia. Check out the reaction. It forms a soluble complex. And essentially what it does is जो मैंने बताया था, it removes this. It removes this, pushing the reaction forward. Which one? Option D. Option D. Darkwing duck. Anyone seen Darkwing duck? Which of the following options will be correct for the stage of half completion of reaction A giving B? D seems most appropriate. All right, fan. Fan चल रहा है, fan. Are you okay, fan? पानी क्या ही कर लेगा. पानी प्यास बुझाता है. बाकी सब बकवास. Actually, that should be the slogan of water, Gosh, man, water tastes really good. I mean, The taste of water, I don't think there's anything better than the taste of water. Yes, ammoniacal silver chloride बनता है, बिल्कुल सही. But लीचिंग में साइनाइड यूज होता है. Yes, श्लोक, absolutely. लीचिंग में साइनाइड यूज होता है. 100% right. लैब में हम लोग खिलवाड़ साइनाइड से नहीं करते हैं. In lab, to test if it's present, we use this. All right, cool. Water is tasteless. भाई मुझे तो टेस्ट आता है, तुमको पता नहीं कौन सा टेस्टलेस वाटर लगता है. मुझे तो बहुत प्यारा टेस्ट लगता है पानी का. How is water tasteless, guys? Anyway, इसका आंसर बताओ. Stop mugging things from 8th standard chemistry textbooks. Water is tasteless, colorless, odorless. भाई टेस्ट होता है, इतना प्यारा टेस्ट होता है. What do you mean by tasteless? बिना टेस्ट मतलब तुम्हारे पानी में मिनरल्स नहीं है. मिनरल्स ही तो टेस्ट आता है पानी का. Yeah, water is pretty tasty, dude. If you played any sport, like वापस आके the first thing and the best thing you want to do is drink water. The best thing ever. Shlok is going to a different level. कुछ शादियों में खाने से better is water. That's interesting. Bro, इसका आंसर बता. तुम पानी के टेस्ट के बारे में क्यों बात कर रहे हो? What is the answer to this question? Thank you, Samyak, for getting us back on track. But Samyak is saying C question mark and then D, somewhat sweet. मीठा होता है. Okay. सब्र का फल भी मीठा होता है. मेरा सब्र is running out. थोड़ा अंग्रेजी और इंग्लिश हिंदी मिक्स हो गया. But here, what is K? K बताओ क्या होगा यहाँ पे? K is simply going to be A by V. I agree, Jeff. Recorded videos will be more effective for people who watch it later on, right? But people who want to have the live experience, I think this is much better for them. But I understand a lot of people watch it recorded. It's a weird, like a trade-off between recorded and live videos. I will definitely be a lot more effective in a recorded video, in the sense that in 5 minutes I can teach you what would otherwise take 20 minutes. But the problem in recorded videos is that a student doesn't have the option of asking a doubt if they don't understand something. Because मुझे लग रहा है मैं बहुत बढ़िया पढ़ा हूँ, बिल्कुल to the point, classic, perfect, everything. But हो सकता है स्टूडेंट के सर के ऊपर चला जाए. अब उसका एसपी क्या करोगे तुम? You have nobody to ask questions. And because that students can tune out. So pros and cons. Not confirmed but C. यार देखो, go from first principles. K is B by A. So alpha is 0.5. Why is alpha 0.5? Because half completion. Reaction is going halfway through. So whatever I start off with, yeah, the concentration of B is going to be equal to the concentration of A, which means that K is equal to 1. You're going to laugh at this when you figure the answer out. K is equal to 1. And then you get delta G is delta G naught plus RT ln Q. You say that, you know what, Q is equal to K because you were at equilibrium, and because of that, this is equal to 0, right? Because Q is equal to K. So delta G naught is simply minus RT ln K minus RT ln 1, and that gives me a big fat 0 as the answer, which is option A. Thank you. Thank you. फैन साहब हमारे पास पानी का ग्लास है. थैंक यू. प्रियांशु, हर्ष, बहुत लोग बोल रहे थे सी अभी तक. मकरन अभी भी डी बोल रहे हैं. एंड जैसे ही मैं कहानी बोल रहा था, श्लोक ने तुरंत बोला आंसर ए. आई फील लाइक अ कमेंटेटर राइट नाउ. श्लोक गोइंग वंस, नंदनी गोइंग ट्वाइस, एंड सोल्ड टू द हाईएस्ट बिडर एट ए. यस, एग्जैक्टली. 1 million. अरे 1 million क्या? Have you guys seen there's a okay, let's stop diverting from what's the main idea. Samyak, why won't it continue, Samyak? We're talking about delta. This is just a mathematical idea, Samyak. इसका कोई physical meaning नहीं है. It's just saying that delta G naught will be equal to 0. What does delta G naught mean? Delta G naught का मतलब क्या है? If you draw a quick graph over here of G versus Q, ठीक है, रिएक्टेंस में होता है डेल्टा G naught, यहाँ पे होता है डेल्टा G naught ऑफ रिएक्टेंस एंड प्रोडक्ट्स, एंड उसमें बीच में समवेयर अलोंग द वे देयर इज इक्विलिब्रियम. ये मैंने रैंडमली ड्रॉ किया है, ठीक है, रैंडमली ड्रॉ किया है. ओके, सो हियर आई एम गोइंग टू से दैट इक्विलिब्रियम अगर अटेन्ड नहीं भी है, so we are assuming that there is equilibrium happening over here. Okay, so this is not the point we are talking about. We are talking about a random point यहाँ पे जहाँ पे this value delta G naught is going to be equal to 0. Today is not your day. It's okay. It's okay. It's not like why will it not continue? Why won't it continue? The concept of continuing depends on some sort of stimulus, no? Equilibrium means that it will stop right there. I get what your doubt is. I understand what your doubt is. Samir, can you elaborate what you're thinking? let's explore this a little bit more. This is a very interesting thing that Samyak asked. Does anyone want to help him out on this? Or Samyak, do you want to tell us more as to ये idea आपके दिमाग में आया कैसे? कि भाई, why will it not continue? What is the idea behind the doubt? What is the, थोड़ा मुझे बताइए and I'll be able to help you. I like the question. I quite like the question actually, to be honest with you. Really, I'm not messing this up. I'm serious. I really do like it. What do you think? Okay, we have physics exam. पढ़ो फिर physics के लिए विशाल. How's physics prep going, विशाल? मजा आ रहा है physics में? या थोड़ा बहुत सर के ऊपर जा रहा है आजकल? Okay, spontaneous. Okay, अभी मुझे जाना पड़ेगा. जाओ. Have fun. Alpha half. क्या कहीं equilibrium होता है, कहीं नहीं. Equilibrium sure slope. All right. So this is not a good question. I'll be very honest with you. This is I want to say bad because I don't want to badmouth NCERT. I don't like this question per se because it's just a mathematical idea which has no real meaning. Okay. Look, because I understand the problem, right? I understand what the doubt is. I can only use this expression. Hold on. Not able to find my. I have too many things open. Sorry about that. The only reason that this will work if delta G is delta G minus R plus RT ln K, right? Ln Q, let's say Q, right? And the only reason this work if this is at 0. Now, if you're saying this is 0, reactions are equilibrium, right? So, I mean, it's like a very twisted way of force fitting ki chalo haan numerical bana lete hain. It's an exemplar, that's why I'm solving it for you. It seems a little random. So we have to assume a lot of things here. I agree. We have to assume that this reaction is actually at equilibrium. Only then does this work out. Okay. Only then will this work out. So, yeah. Exactly, Shlok. Exactly. It should not, half completion does, yeah, agreed. There, I agree there as well. Okay, Vishal Balaji, it's hard, man, to answer that question, how to score better. The only way to score better is to try and reduce the number of negative marking. That's the first step. I'm sure that, I mean, if you have already aced that, that's great. But that's what plagues most students I know. The negative marking is an issue. Okay, where are we at? Let's do this question. Actually, hold on. Let me see. I have quite a few questions remaining. And I want to solve this fun one too. So let's skip this one. Let's skip this one. This is just talking more about more. Okay, no, let's do this. This is a nice question. Okay, for this reaction, okay, let's solve this question. For the reaction, blah, 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 value of K is 50 at 400 Kelvin and 1700 at 500 Kelvin. Which of the following options is correct? Reaction endothermic, exothermic, and there's some more statement about this, and entropy of system increases. I feel the last one is wrong because देखो, number of delta Ng is greater than 0. Hence, delta S must be greater than 0. So, delta S being less than 0, ये वाला गलत है. Can you look at A, B, and C and quickly eliminate stuff? इसको कर सकते हैं? Yeah? Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying, Shlok. It's not a good question because if this question comes in the test, you will be like, bro, how do I solve this? Right? That's what I'm saying. It's not a good test. Because to equilibrium chapter, you know, yeah, exactly. I hope they don't ask it in the JEE exam. That will be like a cruel thing for them to do. A is correct. Clapeyron equation. Okay, Clausius. बहुत बड़े शब्द आ रहे हैं. A is correct. Okay, I like that. So when the temperature increases, K increases. Endo or exo, scratch out exo, it should be endothermic. Great. So A is correct. What about C? You could have more than one correct. C को explore करते हैं. What is Kp going to be? Kp is going to be NO2 whole square divided by N2O4, right? NO2 whole square divided by N2O4. Now, when you apply these, you put these things here, right? Partial pressure, ye hai. Why am I doing this? Because look, I'm going to compare. If Q is greater than K, reaction goes forward. If Q is less than K, then reaction goes backwards. Ab Q kaise nikalenge? I need to substitute the values of pressure in the K expression to get Q. Okay, that is what we are doing right over here on top of my head. So, what happens? Is Q greater than K or is Q less than K? Nandini, Makran, absolutely right, Shlok. A is correct. Priyanshu, yes, A is correct. What about option C? C के बारे में क्या बोलना चाहते हैं? Yeah, I agree with all of you. Kp ki value that I'm getting, not Kp actually, this should be Q. This should not be Kp, this should be Q because we don't know if it is equilibrium or not. We don't know, right? Equilibrium se tab hoga when we compare to these numbers, 50 and 1700. We'll compare it to that number. What temperature are we doing this at? 400 Kelvin. Matlab K at 400 Kelvin, this is given. Kp is 50. Kp, Q is greater. Kitna hai greater? 200 aa raha hai. Q is greater than K. Q is significantly greater than K. The reaction goes forward. So more N2O4 will be formed. Oh, hold on. Did I do something weird? NO2 1 square. एक मिनट, तो ये वाला तो गलत होगा ना? ओनली ये सी गलत हो जाएगा यार. फिर एनसीईआरटी मुझे की में ये दोनों क्यों बोले? The NCERT key has both of them correct, which is why I have also confidently marked this both as correct, but doesn't look like the second one is correct. Was it fire and K kya? Let me just check. Sorry. Ye wala part, I don't have a physical book. I have the online thing, so I've just looked at that. So I'm just going to cross-check that PDF of this thing that I got online. It's only A that should be correct, right? Should go backward, yeah, exactly. More N2O4. No, why would it go backward? Huh. Oh yeah, bro. Q is greater than K, no, so it should go backward. Sahi to hai? I didn't get your point, guys. It made me cross-check things. मैंने यहाँ पे उल्टा लिखा था. Sorry about that. Look. Okay. Yeah. The entropy of the system increases. Oh yeah, increases tha, not decreases, right? Delta S is greater than 0. Okay, this one is correct. D is correct. D is correct. Sorry, Shlok is D is correct. Absolutely. Bilkul sahi. Vishal, all the best. That's good to know. D also, yes. A is correct. D is correct. And C also is correct. No? C is also correct. Okay, let me draw this graph for you. This is a nice and very important graph. G versus Q जो मैं पहले draw कर रहा था. Now whether the reaction is spontaneous or the reaction is non-spontaneous, these are two different conditions. Okay, this reaction is delta G greater than 0, which means non-spontaneous. Okay, यहाँ पे है product, यहाँ पे है reactant. ठीक है, cool. And here I have another reaction. In this case, delta G is less than 0. This is spontaneous. अब देखो, दोनों केस में equilibrium exists. Okay, which means कि here, let us say this is K, let us say this is K dash. Now in both cases, अगर मैं, let me use a different color now to show that Q is greater than K. I'm doing a different color to show Q is greater than K. Here, let's take this value of Q. In both these cases, Q is greater than K, right? So this slope is this way and it's going to just fall back. Okay, it's not greater than K in this case. That was a bad example. Here, this right here, right? This is Q greater than K in both the reactions, whether it's spontaneous or non-spontaneous. So, इस direction में equilibrium जाएगा, इसमें जाएगा, which means in both cases, reaction goes backward. Point of this story is कि it doesn't matter if the reaction is spontaneous or non-spontaneous. Reaction always tries to reach equilibrium. If it is past the equilibrium point, जैसे Q is greater than K, मतलब is past the equilibrium point, it will come back to equilibrium. If Q is less than K, it will move forward to reach equilibrium. ठीक है? So C is right, D is right, and A is right. It's okay. मैंने भी जल्दी में उल्टा लिख दिया था, but it's okay. ये ग्राफ याद रखना, इस ग्राफ से तुम लोग कभी लाइफ में भूलोगे नहीं. अगर भूल भी गए तो एक बार चेक कर लेना, ठीक हो जाएगा. ठीक है? Okay, sweet. That's good. That's great. Let's look at solubility now. How much time do we have? I know it's theoretically 15 minutes. हम लोग थोड़ा देर से शुरू किया था. Let's do one or two questions on solubility, and then we'll do one very, very fun question. एक मजेदार सवाल उसके बाद करेंगे. पहला सवाल, straightforward question. A sparingly soluble salt gets precipitated only when the product of concentration of its ions in the solution, QSP, becomes greater than its solubility product. मतलब QSP greater than K leads to precipitate. If the solubility of BSO4 in water is some amount, calculate the solubility in some amount of acid. Acid डालने पे solubility बढ़ेगी घटेगी? I feel कि acid घट जाएगी, common end effect. So it has given you solubility absolute value. इसमें K की value नहीं दी गई है. I think you can get KSP. So first step 1 is find KSP. And then second step, find S dash in this acid. 2-step process. Let's go. आयुष, वाह बेटा, आ गए क्या हैदराबाद? कैसे हो? अच्छा नहीं, अभी तो बोर्ड चल रहे हैं तुम्हारे. 0.0006, Priyanshu. Okay. All right. What is 0.006, Priyanshu? Is that the final answer or is that KSP? How do you get KSP? Okay. The concentration in water of BaSO4 is 8 into 10 power minus 4. And this is just a S and a S type of salt, right? So KSP is simply going to be equal to S square, which is this. So from this you get S directly to be 8 into 10 power minus 4. है ना? KSP is exactly, बिल्कुल सही, rec, perfect. The moment rec said it, उसी समय मैं यहाँ पे लिख रहा था, आपको 10 सेकंड बाद सुनाई देगा, but yeah, I read it exactly. Yeah, all right, good stuff, rec. That is KSP. Now, this is interesting. This is a great question actually, because NCERT ने कुछ अजीब सा आंसर दिया है, at least exemplar ने अजीब सा आंसर दिया है. I found it to be funny, like how is that even possible? Okay, we'll see. So the new solubility is S dash, and I've added this, and in fact, sure, there is also S dash, but I've chosen to ignore this. Okay, I have chosen to ignore this. We'll talk about what happens if you consider it. Because, 0.1 is much greater than S dash. Hypothesis. Yeah, hypothesis. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. But can we actually, technically speaking, we can't ignore it. Can we ignore it? Let's see. हम लोग देखेंगे इसको इग्नोर कर सकते हैं कि नहीं इग्नोर कर सकते हैं. देखते हैं. अभी मैंने तो इग्नोर कर दिया है. I'll ignore it and I'll solve and I'll see does it work or does it not work. Common ion. श्लोक says 64 to 10 power minus 6. देखते हैं. Let's see. Okay. So S dash would be 0.1 into exactly जो मैं सोच रहा था. I think something similar is what Shlok did, and you get it to be 6.4 and 10 power minus 5 molar. Right? Now, NCERT has given a weird answer. NCERT बोल रहा है नहीं. NCERT बोल रहा है कि हमको S square वाला term लेना चाहिए. Which is weird. I don't know why they did that. Priyanshu, क्या हुआ? Common and SDR? बिल्कुल right. Shlok has got that answer. What about the rest of you? What do the rest of you think? Now, if I choose to not ignore S dash, if I choose to not ignore this S dash, I get a quadratic equation that looks like this. है ना? इसको solve करो एक बार. क्यों नहीं ignore कर सकते समय? Solve करो. Get a calculator. ले आओ. Calculator कोई नहीं है. या श्रीधर आचार्य रूल से करना चलो करो. I would suggest use a calculator. चलो calculator से ही करते हैं. इससे क्या आएगा? If I don't ignore क्या आएगा? This is good, huh? It's important to analyze this question. क्या होता है ignore करने पे, ignore नहीं करने पे क्या होता है? We should know. Negative 64 into 10 power minus 8. Same ही आया, bro. Okay, if I don't ignore, you know what I get? I get 6.36 into 10 power minus 5. Same difference, bro. It can be neglected. वही तो बोल रहा हूँ. कितना छोटा है ये? Look at this. 10 power minus 5 versus 10. It's 3 orders of magnitude smaller. 3 orders of magnitude. ठीक है? So I can ignore it. Now the risk. Now I'll tell you the risk, okay, of messing things up यहाँ पे. अब risk ये है कि students लिख देंगे इसको and they will say S dash into 0.01. Let us ignore this. And then say S dash square is 64 into 10 power minus 8. And then you'll say S dash is 8 into 10 power minus 4. That is incorrect. ठीक है? इसलिए मैंने बोला कि I like this question. This is not correct. Your approximations need to be sensible. यार 0.1, 0.01, 0.001 तीनों का स्क्वायर करो, सबसे कम कौन सा होगा? 0.001 square is going to be really smaller. Okay, really small as compared to 0.1 square. That's what happens with numbers smaller than 1. If you have a number smaller than 1 and you square it, उसका value और भी छोटी हो जाती है. ठीक है? Which is why the realistic thing to do is to ignore. Okay? The realistic thing to do is ignore this and focus on this, which is what we did. ठीक है? Maths is a great tool, but you got to know where उसकी limits क्या होती हैं. चलो अगला सवाल करते हैं. Let's do the next question. What is left? हम लोग redox, which chapter are we doing? Equilibrium करें. Like hold on, redox. Let's do some fun match the follow. Oh, we haven't done this. इसमें मजा आएगा. This is going to be good time pass. Let's do this one. Okay. This is good fun. Like lightweight stuff now. Conjugate acid बताओ इन सबका. Conjugate acid बताओ. Match the column. Please try. Okay. One is B. Yeah, man. This is not a good question because one is B is very stands out. Priyanshu, good job. Two is E. Okay. So, okay. I think you guys are getting the hang of it. तुरंत सबने आंसर है. Lovely, lovely. What's the idea? काफी बार स्टूडेंट्स कॉन्सेप्ट भूल जाते हैं कॉन्जुगेट एसिड और कॉन्जुगेट बेस का मतलब क्या होता है. सो आई टेल देम कि टेक द मोस्ट एक्सट्रीम एग्जांपल, सबसे रैंडम सबसे एक्सट्रीम एग्जांपल. रैंडम मतलब सबसे ऑब्वियस एग्जांपल क्या है कि भाई HCl एसिड है. आई डोंट नो बाकी एसिड. आई नो HCl इज एन एसिड. सो इफ दिस इज एन एसिड देन दिस मस्ट बी द बेस. मतलब एसिड और बेस में फर्क हुआ एक H प्लस का. ओके, बट यहां कुछ और पूछना है. कॉन्जुगेट एसिड ठीक है, कॉन्जुगेट एसिड निकाल लेंगे. आई नो दिस इज द बेस. बेस पे ऐड किया H प्लस तो बन गया एसिड. दिस इज व्हाट माय डिडक्शन आइडिया इज. इवन इफ यू फॉरगेट एग्जाम में ना, दिस इज हाउ यू डिड्यूस. व्हाट इज अ कॉन्जुगेट एसिड? अ स्पीशीज दैट एक्सेप्ट्स H प्लस. हाउ डू आई नो? मैंने लिख के दिखाया ना अभी. तुम भी लिख के देख लेना. अगर बेस का देखना है तो ये देख लेना. डू दिस. या दिस इज Na प्लस प्लस OH माइनस. What is this? What is this? If this is a base, this is the acid. I know this looks very random, but yeah. So what is a conjugate base? Something that accepts OH minus. Or since we are talking only in terms of H plus, you could also do NH4 plus. NH3 plus H plus gives me NH4 plus. ये भी देख सकते हो. ठीक है. Something that loses H plus. अगर ये कर लिया तो इसके conjugate will be base. Okay, conjugate acid. BCD, one more proton, extra proton. All right, good job, good job, good job. Priyanshu and Shlok very active in the chat, loving that. This one was a giveaway actually. ये NH4 plus since इसका एक ही है. अगर ऑप्शन में NH2 minus होता, then things would get complicated. But because ऑप्शन में NH2 minus था ही नहीं, it became very easy. The thing you have to spot is this, and with that you can spot the others. Okay, good, nice. Time pass, आसान question. Here's one more time pass आसान question. Yeah, this is a good one actually. It's all right. It's time pass, but it's still a good question. Let's do this. Let's do this one. Priyanshu, you saw that. Okay. Thank you, King Fan. That's a cup of water. That's great. Match the following graphical variation with their description. Variation product, concentration with time, reaction equilibrium, reaction in concentration with time. So, things changing with time are not equilibrium. When things don't change with time, that is equilibrium. With that, you should be able to guess at least one of them. At least one of them. बहुत जल्दी. CAB, CAB, CAB. Loving this, loving this. Okay, but in graphs को बोलते क्या है? This one is exponential decay. This one is exponential recovery. And this is a combination of both. तो ये combination of both वाले में, this is basically just the reactants reducing, products increasing, assuming that you have reactants and no products. Yes, reactants, no product. You start with only reactants. Then it is reactant and product. ठीक है. अगर basically in either way, if the reaction is going forward, it is always going to be a downward curve for reactants, down an upward curve for products. That's it. That's all. So ये वाला है reactants, ये वाला है products, ये वाला है equilibrium after a particular point in time, and things don't change with time. That is the equilibrium setup. All right. Reaction concentration with time. Cool. Any doubts, guys? Reactant concentration. All right. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. जल्दी जल्दी कर रहे हैं. Yeah. Hey, Shlok, I want to pause what you're saying there. This is not exponential growth. This is exponential recovery, like a capacitor. जैसे capacitor अपना charge regain करता है. It is not exponential growth. It is exponential recovery. ठीक है? थोड़ा थोड़ा physics आता है. Exponential, यही तो मैं बोल रहा था यार. Exponential recovery है. It is not exponential growth. गलती से growth मत लिख देना. ये चीज पे भी सवाल आ सकता है. Who knows? सवाल आए ना आए, you should know this यार. This is exponential recovery, not growth. Exponential growth, by the way, exponential growth is this. This is exponential growth, or e power x. Cool. चलो, let's go on. Growth नहीं बोलना चाहिए. Growth is a crime. Growth is crime. Don't say growth. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. How about one or two easy questions? Then we'll go on to the JEE question. Okay, how about this one? Assertion. In the dissociation of PCl5, the constant pressure and temperature addition of helium at equilibrium increases the dissociation of PCl5. Helium removes chlorine from the field of action. वाह बेटा क्या अंग्रेजी है, field of action. बताइए. No shocks, bro. No shocks. Have you ever had this thing called center shock? It's great. Used to be a chewing gum that I bachpan mein used to have weird flavors. Are wrong, of course. Are wrong, of course. I agree. R is wrong. R is wrong. R is wrong. R is wrong. हाँ, R is random. R कुछ भी लिखा है. R ignore करो. What about A, bro? A में PCl5 gives me PCl3 plus Cl2. Okay. A lot of you are saying C, center fresh. Center shock, not center fresh. Center shock, right? Disgusting thing in the middle. That taste was bad. Option D नहीं दिख रहा है. Guess both A and R are false. Sorry, option D नहीं दिख रहा है. दोनों गलत हैं. That's what option D says. Why is A false? Okay. This is a reaction. Now, what am I doing? I'm adding an inert gas at constant pressure. This is an inert gas at constant pressure. Constant pressure मतलब like a cooker. कुकर में मैं और inert gas डाल रहा हूं. क्या होगा? Constant pressure में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. एक बात बताओ, किसमें फर्क नहीं पड़ता है? Constant pressure या constant volume? Constant pressure. देखो यार, constant pressure में what happens? How do you remember? I find hard to remember these things. याद कैसे होत करते हैं? How do you remember these things? Oh, Rick is saying constant volume में फर्क नहीं पड़ता. I mean, yeah, how do you remember constant volume, constant pressure? Not like a cooker. Sorry, cooker is constant volume. Constant pressure मतलब कि I have put a piston over here. That pressure is constant. This can move up and move down. Oh, so essentially by adding helium, I'll tell you what is actually happening. By adding helium, अगर यहाँ पे होता, this was the old volume, this is the new volume. New volume. So same amount of gas. Same gas, more volume, which means that the partial pressure of all of them is changing. In fact, it is reducing. है ना? Partial pressure सबका कम हो रहा है. Total pressure is the same. तो partial pressure घटना चाहिए. समझ में आ रहा है? Is that okay? Priyanshu saying कि partial pressure change नहीं हो, constant volume. I agree with you, Priyanshu. But constant pressure की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं. कुछ लोगों को जो है डाउट है. श्लोक सुनो इधर, ये देखो, look at this. No, when I add helium and I don't add helium, this green stuff is helium being added. Assume कि exactly उतना helium मैंने add किया है. Now because I added helium, volume बढ़ गया है. What is pressure anyway? Pressure is number of moles which is constant divided by volume. अब volume बढ़ गया है. Volume बढ़ गया है. Since volume बढ़ गया है तो partial pressure कम हो गया. अब now that is a problem. If partial pressure is reduced, भाई partial pressure को बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. How do we increase partial pressure? Onwards and upwards. बढ़ जाएगा. ठीक है? So let me reiterate. When I add helium, which is inert gas, it doesn't participate in the reaction, but it increases the volume, hence reducing the partial pressures of all the species. So the reaction will go in a direction where total pressure किसी ना किसी तरह बढ़ जाए, क्योंकि pressure भाई substances का सबका कम हो गया है. कैसे बढ़ेगा? जब moles बढ़ेंगे. So जिस direction में moles बढ़ेंगे उस direction में जाएगा. In this case, forward direction में moles बढ़ रहे हैं. ठीक है? Cool? So C is the answer. Okay, good. Let's go on to this. Last question for the day. I will take 15 minutes of your time. 15 minutes from now. We're talking about advanced. 15 minutes from now. Maximum 15 minutes. हो सकता है 5 मिनट हो जाए. Who knows, we are wonderful. 5 मिनट भी हो जाए. 5 मिनट में कर सकते हैं. बड़ी बात नहीं. We're talking about JEE Advanced theory that will help you through a question, as usual. Here, we're going to look at a titration. Very simple titration. You've got Na2CO3 in a flask. ठीक है, इस conical flask में कुछ Na2CO3 है. I'm adding HCl drop by drop. Okay, and I'm plotting some sort of a graph. And look at that. It's like a, what do you call that thing? Like a roller coaster? Like no. Like those water rides होते हैं ना. It's like one of those water rides in those theme parks. That's what the graph looks like. And you're like, what is this about? So what I want you to do is tell me, what is this? 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 There's 6 things. A to F. A, B, C, D, E. Don't get scared by this question. It's very doable. Just think from first principles. If you have attended any of my equilibrium sessions, I have explained on basis of this graph in every session, because I feel that this encapsulates the whole of ionic equilibrium एक graph में. ठीक है? Second point है कि pH निकालो at B and D, and B and D are exactly in the middle of these graphs. Okay, and exactly in the middle. There's a hint. Yes, exactly, Shlok. Roller coaster, water slide. ठीक है. तो I'll give you a I'll start you off. Right? मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि A में क्या होगा. A में कुछ नहीं होगा. A में there's only Na2CO3 in the flask. Nothing else. और पानी हर जगह रहेगा. Then मैं HCl डालता रहता हूँ drop by drop. So now tell me what is at B. Can you help me out with that? B में क्या होता है? मैं add करता हूँ. Let me add a little bit of HCl. So what is there at B right now? Which of these species will be there? Or rather, tell me which of species will not be there. Which of these will not be present at B? बताइए. At the point B, out of those species, which of these are not going to be present? B पे it should be 7. Shlok. Wait. NaCl कहां से आया? Okay, NaCl ठीक है, आ गया. But NaCl does not decide the pH, no? Why will NaCl have any bearing on the pH? In fact, oh, I understand where this is coming from. You're taught in school that NaCl has a pH of 7. That's not true. The solution of water, ka pH does not change when you add equal amounts of HCl and NaOH. NaCl ka pH 7 nahi hai, theek hai? So pH does not change before and after. ठीक है? It's not 7. थोड़ा सोचो. H plus remains. H plus, how will H plus remain? How will H plus remain? How will H plus remain? मैं एक ड्रॉप H plus डाल रहा हूं. जैसे ही मैंने एक ड्रॉप H plus डाला, तुरंत बन जाएगा. This reaction will happen. On just one drop of H plus, that drop will react with CO3 to minus and it will form HCO3 minus. Why? Because of this wonderful thing जो मैंने आपको बताया था right in the starting of this. Look at this. Ka1 is 4 into 10 power minus 7, Ka2 is 5 into 10 power minus 11. Okay. Order याद रखो, 10 power minus 11, 10 power minus 7. Which means the K of this reaction is going to be of the order of 10 power 11, because Ka of HCO3 minus becoming CO3 minus is 10 power minus 11. Okay, so the K of this is going to be equal to 1 by Ka 10 power 11. मतलब भाई reaction जाएगा completion में. मैं जैसे ही H plus डालूंगा, poof, gone. Which means, and B में तो मैंने आधा कर दिया है, like half of that has gone. Which means कि at point B, something will happen. Anyway, after a point, I keep adding H plus, क्या होगा? ये इसके साथ react करेगा. When does this happen? When CO3 minus is exhausted. Then then and only then will this reaction happen. ठीक है? Yeah? Okay, let me remain. H plus remains. Okay, meant that HCO3. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so H2CO3 will form after all of the CO3 2 minus and H plus becomes this. अगर एक आयन भी CO3 2 minus का बचा है, वो तुरंत बन जाएगा HCO3. You realize this, right? So H2CO3 only exists after CO3 2 minus goes away. ठीक है? Cool. Now with that in mind, what will be there at B? What will be there at B? सम्यक. B में सब रहेगा. सम्यक. B में everything will be there except H plus. H plus नहीं रहेगा. Okay. So let's focus on what is at B. ये जो है nice circle I've drawn. इस circle plus water is what is going to be there at B. There will be no H plus. H plus तो तुरंत चला जाएगा ना. H plus आते ही H plus will combine with CO3 2 minus because इसका Ka value is 10 power 11. So this will happen. ठीक है? Okay. What is B? B is half neutralization point जिसको बोलते हैं ना. This is half neutralization. ठीक है? I have helped you with B. Now can you help me with C? C में क्या होगा? Yeah? A and B is clear. What happens at C? Is A and B okay? What is B? B is a buffer. How is B a buffer? सोचो थोड़ा. B buffer हुआ कि नहीं हुआ? C पे exhaust. Exactly. C पे exhaust. Yes. Abhay Kumar. Watch better things. I watch Tom and Jerry यार. तो भारी चीजें मैं नहीं देखता भाई. Half equivalence point CH3CO formed. Okay, right, cool. Let's see. C में CO3 2 minus gets exhaust. Exactly, right? CHCO3 minus is formed. This is the first equivalence point. And even from this reaction, you can see that there is a point of inflection. अगर इसको zoom in करोगे, this is this, right? And this is of a strong acid and a strong base का जो होता है curve looks something like this. So if you zoom into this part a lot, it looks a lot like this. जहाँ पे ज़्यादा pH change होता है with a very small drop of addition. Okay, so this is the first equivalence point, which is C. ठीक है? ज़्यादा bend in curve, exactly. Dark Prince, good evening. Thank you for asking that question. The focus there is going to be JEE Main. ठीक है? Because it is just before the JEE Main का attempt, so the focus is going to be in its entirety JEE Main. ये हम लोग JEE Advanced की बात कर रहे हैं अभी. Dark Prince. Right now we're talking about JEE Advanced. C पे acidic buffer? No. Priyanshu. C पे just a salt. You see? How is it going to be a buffer? Sorry, what did you ask me? Oh, yeah. C पे acidic buffer. Let me see. C पे buffer है कि नहीं? सोचना पड़ेगा. HCO3 minus, Cl minus. My concern is कि if there is no H plus or CO3 2 minus, so how is this a buffer? This is a salt. Right? This is not a buffer per se. B and D पे buffer होगा ना? Rec, lovely, absolutely right. B and D पे होगा. C पे I'm not so sure. C I'll have to explore. I'll have to think about that, Priyanshu. I haven't thought about it. We'll think about C together. Let's go through the motions. एक एक करके देखते हैं. Maybe this will help you solve it'll help you come to that answer. C में again we'll add H plus again. Exactly Samyak. So D पे क्या होगा? D पे what is there? What happens on D? On D, now अगर CO3 2 minus exhaust हो गया, then this guy is turn. अब इसका नंबर आ गया. So D में now you have H2CO3 also. ठीक है? This is a lot like B. And as somebody pointed out, देखो यार, how do you know these are buffer solutions? The pH is not changing. I'm adding H plus, भाई साहब बदल नहीं रहे, है ना? Because of me adding H plus and the pH doesn't change, you know that that's a buffer. So both B and D are buffer regions. Yeah? Wonderful, right? Okay. फिर E में क्या हुआ? E में बड़ा change just like C. So now finally E, point D, by the way, I want to talk about point D a little bit more. Point D में ये भी होता है, ठीक है, कि H2CO3 then gives you H2 and CO2. It's not that important, but basically it does that. What happens at point E? खत्म, बैठा है सिर्फ एसिड, everything is gone. This is the second equivalence point. यहां पे क्या है? सिर्फ H2CO3. ठीक है, cool. पॉइंट सी पे बफर है कि नहीं? I'll have to think about that one. पॉइंट 3 पे सिर्फ वो एसिड है, राइट? HCO3 minus, just that's the half equivalence point, so to speak. Yeah, sir, NaCl H2CO3 only. Exactly श्लोक, बिल्कुल सही. Yes, श्लोक CO3 2 minus एग्जॉस्ट होता है यहीं पे. This is where CO3 2 minus एग्जॉस्ट. श्लोक प्लीज इसको थोड़ा जो है इंटरनलाइज करने की कोशिश करो. सिंस ये एग्जॉस्ट होता है तभी तो H2CO3 पॉसिबल है एग्जिस्ट करना. ओनली आफ्टर दिस एग्जॉस्ट, तो यहां पे H2CO3 एग्जिस्ट करता है दिस पूरे जगह पे. ठीक है, कूल. सी पे नहीं होगा बफर, आई डोंट थिंक सो, बट वील एक्सप्लोर दैट. ठीक है, और एफ पे अगेन, वेल इट्स जस्ट really lot of acid, right? So this is acidic. F पे कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, it's just very acidic. Cool. Any doubts so far? Pretty cool, right? So we've done this awesome theory bit in the last 10-11 minutes, जो पूरा हमने इसको रिवाइज कर लिया है. So in point A you will have the equation of a weak base से तुम निकाल सकते हो. At point B and D you'll need the buffer वाला expression. At point C and E, you will require hydrolysis of a salt. उस expression से आप लोग कर सकते हो. Cool, right? All right. Okay, that's half the part. What about the other half? pH निकालो B और D पे. ये बहुत जल्दी हो जाएगा. pH निकालो B और D पे. इंटरेस्टिंग था, अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ है, 2 मिनट बाकी है. 2 मिनट में कर लो इसको. How do you do this? Okay, silence. देखो, कुछ लोग बोल रहे थे बफर होगा. बफर में स्पेसिफिकली दिस इज हाफ इक्विवेलेंस पॉइंट. इट्स राइट इन द मिडल ऑफ बोथ ऑफ दीज थिंग्स. ओके, so if this volume is x, this is v1 by 2 and this is v2 by 2. Okay, exactly बीच वाला point है. बीच वाला point का मतलब it forms a buffer where both the concentrations are equal. What is this? This is the weak acid. This is salt of conjugate base, right? And then अब क्या किया जाए? 6.3 प्रियांशु. Wow. 6.3. Okay, let's see. 6.3. Are you sure, Priyanshu? Now, in this case, which pKa will you use? Will you use this or this? Wow. Anime Hub. भारी सवाल. I don't understand the concept. I don't understand the concept of dream college. I never had one, right? So I don't know about that. But interest जो लगता है वो करना चाहिए. जो आपको ठीक लगता है, मजा आता है, वो करना जरूरी है. Even if you're not that good at it, but मजा आता है करने में, उसको करो. ठीक है? That's भगवद गीता में लिखा है. I'm just translating from भगवद गीता श्लोक. What is in your nature you must do, even if you're not good at it. But जो nature में वही करना चाहिए. भगवद गीता का श्लोक है. 10.3 Ka2 पकड़ लिया आप लोगों ने. 10.3 and 6.4 exactly. पहली बार you've got to use Ka2, not Ka1. Okay, remember. And B, you got to use Ka2. Sorry, यहाँ पे था. pH is what? 11 minus log 5, which is 10.3. Yeah, and in this case you got to use Ka1 and you get these guys to be equal. The answer here is 6.4, 6.3, whatever. ठीक है? All right. Excellent work, everybody. I felt that I should give you a question that gives you confidence and not kills your confidence. So I've got a question that is slightly above the level of JEE Main, maybe not at the level of JEE Advanced, but definitely above the level of JEE Main. The last times the questions I did were definitely at the level of JEE Advanced. This is midway, right? Maybe they could ask you a question like this. Maybe these ideas would form a part जिसमें वो जो जिसको आप यूज करोगे वो फॉर बिगर क्वेश्चन. बट इधर वे आई एम ग्लैड कि आप लोग इसको आसानी से समझ पाए. दैट्स द गोल. यू शुड बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड इट एंड अप्रिशिएट इट. ठीक है, बढ़िया. सुधर गया श्लोक, सुधर जाएगी क्या? सुधर गया. ओके, सो टू रिकैप दिस कर्व, यहां पे है बफर, इन दोनों पॉइंट पे बफर, यहां पे सॉल्ट, हाइड्रोलिसिस, यू कैन गेट पीएच, राइट? एंड दिस समराइजेस द होल ऑफ आयोनिक इक्विलिब्रियम. What equation did I use here? pH equals to pKa plus log of salt by acid. ठीक है, this is the equation I used over here. How did I get this equation? From first principles. हम लोग कर चुके हैं. There is a pinned comment. You can check the equilibrium sessions there to figure it out. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry that we started a little late. कुछ technical glitch था. Studios में they forgot to switch on the stream key on one of them. That's why you were saying studio का thing and not my thing. Please take a break. I know खुशबू जी का session है अभी 10 मिनट में. स्मॉल प्रोमो करना जरूरी है, तो जीत की तैयारी, जेई की तैयारी, जीट, या यू नो द ड्रिल, प्लीज चेक इट आउट, ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला, दिस व्हाट इट कॉस्ट, यू यूज दीस 2 कोड्स एंड यू विल बी गुड. डिस्क्रिप्शन में यू गॉट द व्हाट डू यू कॉल दिस लिंक्स एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. ठीक है, तो सी यू ऑन द मार्च सेशन इफ यू आर गोना बी चेकिंग दिस आउट, मार्च 18 to 22. मैं तो आपसे मिलता रहूंगा टिल देन. मार्च 16 तक पूरा प्लान है. क्या प्लान है? ये प्लान है. हियर इज द टाइम टेबल फॉर दिस वीक and the following week. ठीक है, चलो, that's it from me. See you. And again, apologies for the delay आज. टाटा. मिलते हैं हम लोग कब? सैटरडे. पी ब्लॉक हम लोग करेंगे तब. बढ़ के आना, एडवांस का है, करेंगे थोड़ा बहुत. कृष्णा, बाय.